Are you a new stager and want to know how other people become home staging experts? And do you sometimes wonder what role social media is really playing in getting you known out there so people know and like and trust you? And how about YouTube videos? Do you have a channel? Are you using social media to the full extent? Are you in the Google sandbox yet? Or are you still thinking about getting on Facebook? Well, we're going to talk a lot about those things today. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be talking with a home staging expert, Tori Toth from New York. And Tori has built up a really incredible business. I was attracted to what she's done because she's got just some of the best videos out there, and I thought she had a professional photographer doing them all, but you'll find out Tori doesn't. So my name is Dana Smithers, and I started in the home staging business in about 2002. I eventually became a redesigner, interior decorator, home stager, and I also wrote the book, Start and Run a Home Staging Business, and was just having a little laugh with Tori about this, the section on social media. I wrote that book in 2010. It was published in 2011. So the social media world has exploded, and that's what we're going to talk about today, because you really need to be on the social media bandwagon as one of your key marketing strategies. So another thing that I do, since I sold my staging business last year, is I coach home stagers, I coach solopreneurs and other business as well. But naturally, a lot of home stagers are attracted to me because I was been in the business for such a long time. But the law of attraction is something that I breathe it, live it every day. And one of the things that I know Tori Toth has done has, when she started her business, gotten clear on what her business model was at that time. So we're going to have Tori share that journey with us, because it's really, really fascinating, everything that she's done. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Tori Toth. So Tori, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And we've got the dog settled down, so we're good there. Yeah.
Hopefully we do. I put them away for now.
Yeah, good. So Tori, tell us kind of how you got into the business in the first place. I know you've got a really interesting background with your father being in the construction business.
So yeah, when I was really young, he had a construction company out in Jersey. And I really didn't want any part in that. I did like decorating and changing my room and stuff like that a lot. But I went into the field of TV reporting. So I was in that industry for about 7 years, and basically telling stories and creating images and pulling at the heartstrings of people, which kind of seems fitting because that's a little bit what staging does. I was looking for a new job, and I came across an infamous CNN article in 2009. And I was like, hey, I can do that. And I liked the staging factor versus decorating, because I don't know what's going inside people's heads. Sometimes I just have to kind of, I just want to get in and get out and not try and figure out everything that's going on. So I became certified, and I used with Home Staging Resource, and I took an advanced course with Matthew Finlinson and learned a little bit more about target staging and really creating a lifestyle and not just doing this generic staging thing that everyone else was doing, you know, making everything light and bland, really adding some personality back into the staging world. And I was doing owner-occupieds and vacants, but I really liked vacants better. And when I started out, I really didn't know what my niche was going to be. I was like, how am I going to be different? So it can be a challenge when you start. But eventually I married my old world of TV reporting with staging, and I started creating how-to home staging videos to get people to really understand the staging world, because a lot of people, I mean, I live in New York City, but there's still a lot of people out here that don't know what it is or don't think that they need it. And that's really broken the ice with them, where I could just send a video off and they'll kind of understand the concept a little bit better.
Oh, that's interesting. So when you get a home seller, and is that how you market to them? Do you send them your a video then?
I usually do. Like I'll send them
Oh.
a video on how a consultation would work, or an
Okay.
consultation, or show them what what a vacant staging day would look like, so they kind of get an idea of what would happen.
Wow, so that's really brilliant. Like I said, I really enjoyed looking at your website and everything that you've done, because you know most people aren't going to be doing something like that, and because we are in such a visual world, and it's as you said, you know, people don't know what they don't know. So at least if you can do that, and you and I talked about the know, like, and trust factor, that if they see that and see you doing that, that's going to help a lot with that as well. So tell us about stylish stagers then. So do you have a lot of your own inventory, Tori?
So Stylish Stagers, I opened up in 2009, and I was working in the New York City, Manhattan area, Queens, and Long Island. I didn't have my own inventory at first. I ended up getting about probably 10 homes worth of inventory, not necessarily big pieces of furniture, because that would just be too much of a rental hassle to rent the actual square footage to store all this stuff. But I had 3 5x8s, which by no means is that a lot in comparison to other stagers around the country.
Right.
But it's a lot for me to handle. And I actually just sold it all off since the beginning, like fall of last year. I've been having yard and collecting money back from it, because I'm not necessarily doing real stagings anymore right now.
Okay, oh, that's really interesting. And really, Tori, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the program, because you know, stagers need to know that their business model probably will change. Like mine absolutely changed over the years, and I think a lot of stagers in the beginning, I know I had small inventory. I never got large inventory because we have about half a dozen rental companies here that have really fabulous looking stuff. I mean, in the beginning we only had one that we could go to, and then we had Easy Home, which most of us weren't going to be putting Easy Home furniture into the homes unless it was going to go down in a family room or something like that. But here we had really good, and still do have very good rental furnishing companies. So it's interesting that you sold off your furniture. So let's talk about that then. So you've kind of moved out of the actual staging world then, Tori, into a different business model right now. So tell us about that.
Yeah.
And what made the decision?
Well, some of you may know this. Back in 2012, my home was flooded. The first floor of my home was flooded from Superstorm Sandy. And so I had to kind of take a break from actual staging and kind of redo my own house and furnish it and all that other stuff, which it taught me a lot. I'm kind of happy that I went through that. I mean, I wasn't by any means depressed or stressed or anything like that. It was kind of a way for me to learn how to do everything from the ground up. I mean, we literally we were down to the studs. So I learned how to construct the house. And as I was researching and coming up with ideas and materials, I had stumbled on a couple of YouTubers that had a really big following. One of them had an online organizing course that I thought was really interesting, and I was like, there's no home staging online course for the do-it-yourself seller. There are, obviously courses out there to try and become a home stager, or for real estate people, but no one talking to just the seller. So that's when I kind of really started focusing on my how-to videos to try and build some momentum with them on YouTube. I have over 139 YouTube videos on home staging and decorating. And that got me into thinking about creating a book, which I wrote about, and creating an online video course for home sellers to learn how to stage their own homes themselves. Okay. With my help, holding their hands online.
Right. So I want to talk about that a bit, because you and I were talking earlier that I know when I would do library talks or presentations or home and garden shows or whatever, I would give a lot away. Like I would tell them how to do it. I would give them the 10 steps or whatever. And some people seem to be worried about giving too much away. And I always say, you know, give it away because it's going to come back to you. You know, some of those people, and I'm sure you'd agree, Tori, will look at your video and say, yeah, I can do that. They may get started, but chances are they're going to have to hire you for something, right? So was that your experience too? Was that sort of your strategy, Tori? Because I would think that would be a good one.
Well, when I had thought about this, I had talked to some other staging experts, and they were like, how are you going to attract these do-it-yourself sellers? There's so much information out there on the web. You know, you just Google search anything.
Yeah.
And that's true. There's everything out there, but it's not in one system. It's not a step-by-step, and it's not an expert sitting there with you, kind of helping you, guide you through this, and being there if you stumble. So yeah, to what you're saying, I kind of give a lot away for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they still come back. They show me their transformations. They thank me. And it's a way to motivate them to maybe do more.
Right. Absolutely. And I've watched some of those videos, and, you know, some are shorter clips and some are longer, but, you know, I love what you're saying about the step-by-step, because that's what people need, right? And why don't you just talk about your book a little bit? Maybe tell us about the table of contents and that, because you just rolled it out. It just got published, right?
Yes, it just got published. It'll be in store shelves in August. And basically, it's a 10-step system, what I usually use to kind of help clients, and it even helped myself get my house back together.
Yeah.
So of course, focusing on perceptions, you know, examining the buyer demographic and psychographic, you know, who is your potential buyer going to be, erasing clutter, leveraging home repairs, obviously talking about lighting, ambient lighting, tidying up your home, of course, and highlighting positives, optimizing space, modernizing, of course, and then creating that emotional connection point, which I think a lot of sellers don't understand, because you know, that's really something that a stager would go in and do.
Right. It would be the foundation of because people only buy on emotion anyway. They don't buy a fireplace because they like the look of it. They buy a fireplace because they think, oh, that's romantic. That's nice. We can sit in here. We can put some candles. We can have a glass of wine. Right. So, you know, we learned that the psychology of staging is very important as well. So I just want to applaud you as well for 200,000 views of your video.
We're actually 270 now, so we're almost at 3.
Wow.
And almost at 2,000 subscribers. I mean, the first 1,000 was hard. I wasn't even at 1,000 during the RISA convention. I was just like so close, but I'm almost at 2 now. So it really starts picking up momentum.
Right. And how did you increase that traffic? What strategies were you using?
I really try and direct a lot of people from Facebook to go look at the videos on YouTube. I was trying to get Instagram people to go find me on YouTube. I put a blog up about it. I send out weekly video emails to my list so they can get the latest video that I've done. Okay. And trying to just kind of collaborate with other YouTube people. Really, the more you spend time on YouTube and collaborate with other people, and maybe have challenges or competitions, or we all do the same theme and just see who, you know, everyone will do something differently. You start collecting subscribers from them, and they start collecting subscribers from you. So really, you need to spend time in YouTube. You can't just post a video and expect it to get views overnight.
Right. And and are also, I would assume, and Pinterest and Houzz, you're in those a lot?
I'm not in Houzz a lot.
Okay.
Pinterest, I am. I've stepped away from it for a little bit because I've got a lot on my plate.
Yeah.
But Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, I'm really trying to work on right now.
Right. Good. Yeah. And I think that's something important for viewers to know about social media, is that like I said, in my book, it's a little bit laughable about what I said. But Facebook, Twitter, I don't use Twitter much, although, you know, you can use Hootsuite and get everything connected. But I think, you know, all of us in business have to decide which social media we're really going to work at, because with the law of attraction here, if you're too diluted, you do a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of this, you're never going to have a strong presence and following you. And so that's one of the things that you've done really, really well, Tori, is that. And plus you've got, you know, strategic alliances. People notice what you're doing and people will refer, and that's really good as well. And I think in our world, I know there are a lot of stagers on House, and they do good work with that. A lot of stagers are in Yelp as well, but I don't know, there's a little bit pros and cons to Yelp, but Pinterest is a good one for the visual, and certainly Facebook, I still believe, is, you know, number one for getting the majority of people that would be your market interested in that. And, you know, from there, then they can go into YouTube, because, you know, as far as SEO, search engine optimization goes, Google is number one, but YouTube is number two. So, and Tori, let's also talk about video on your website as well.
Yeah, and Google owns YouTube, so that's another reason why I do like it.
Exactly.
I was talking about this at the RISA conference. If you go type in home staging in YouTube, my channel comes up number one, along with probably 5 or 6 other videos that I've worked on. And that's just on Google, and that's just on YouTube page one. Similar situation over on Google, and this is with hundreds of thousands of different results coming up, and I'm reaching the top based on my video. So that's why video is really important, because it gets you out there, in a different way, because not a lot of people are doing it, and Google loves video. Facebook also now loves video. So
yes. I just I noticed that yesterday that they're going to be doing a lot more video on that, and I'd really like to upload video to Facebook because it's really easy. But I think that they're going to get in competition with YouTube and really have a go at getting more on there, and maybe even channels. I'm not sure what they're planning.
That's basically already what they are doing. They're trying to make sure that you upload your video on Facebook rather than link YouTube over to Facebook. And in fact, if you do use a YouTube link on Facebook, you know, in your status, sometimes a picture won't even come up, or a really small thumbnail of your video picture will come up. And remember, it used to be really big, but now they've tried to shy YouTube away from Facebook because they want to use their own platform. So they are competing with YouTube. And on Facebook fan pages, you now have a feature video. You can have all these different playlists.
Right, yeah.
You're starting to do a lot more things with video.
Yeah, absolutely. So I still think Facebook is a really good one to have. The question that I have for you, Tori, because I get asked this all the time when I'm coaching newbie stagers. You live in New York City, and I love New York City, but I know it takes a long time to go from one area to New York to the other. So do you charge the travel time for that, or have you just put that into your rates?
I usually just charge a flat fee when it comes to our labor costs, and that is included into it. What's, you know, $50 here or there if I'm sitting in an extra hour of traffic, or, you know, a bit more gas, when they're paying me thousands of dollars already. So I kind of chalk that one up. Sometimes maybe they'll get the best of me. Sometimes maybe I'll get the best of them. So
absolutely, yeah, I agree. I think it all works out. Now I wanted to talk about another program that you're just starting, because I saw I think it says coming soon on your website. It's the Stage to Sell strategy. Tell us about that.
So that is going to be my bread and butter soon, hopefully, fingers crossed. And that is an online video course where home sellers would pay for access, and it's 9 modules. So starting from, you know, how to obtain a seller's mindset to, again, using those finishing touches and creating that wow factor. It's bringing them through the entire process with video, holding them accountable with worksheets, you know, giving them presentation slides and audio transcripts, trying to give them multiple different ways that they can learn and actually digest the information so that then they can go out and use it. And of course, like I said, I would be there to answer their questions and probably eventually hold maybe like a little community Q&A session once a week or maybe once a month, and really help them do it themselves. Right. And I think it's a good way for them to do it. If they learn how to do it themselves, it becomes a habit, and so then they can take that habit and use it in their new house.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would think too, Tori, that from some of those people that do sign up, there's still going to be people that are going to ask you to come and do something for them or provide resources or something like that for them as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would certainly love to do that. If they want to pay for my plane ticket, I'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think eventually down the line too, what I want to do is actually pull a resource of quality stagers and use them. So let's say a client in Topeka, Kansas doesn't understand or just wants to make sure everything's right. I can go contact one of my staging friends over there and give them a little bit of money and have them go and make sure everything is okay.
Yeah. And I would think, even though the DIYer is your target, I would think you'll get other stagers that probably want to check out what you're doing as well. So that you know, that could just be something that happens organically as you do it, because as you said earlier when you and I were talking, that, you know, your business model is changing, so that could be interesting. Yeah, and that's something for stagers to know, that, you know, when I started out, I provided certain services because I was a decorator as well and redesigner, and I did a lot of occupied homes just for people for living, and I really loved doing that because people just, it's what you said earlier, Tori, we don't want to get too involved with the things that they have, but if we're doing an occupied home and they're going to live in it, then we've got to do the very best that we can with the furniture that they've got, still using our, you know, design and decorating, styling ideas. But sometimes you just get things that maybe those are the pictures that we don't put up on the website, right? The ones that, okay, it's not really a model home that we want to use. Another question that I wanted to bring up, or information for people watching, is RISA. So I know when I was very involved in the home staging world before I sold it, I was a member of RISA for several years, and at one of the RISA conventions, I was on the home staging expert panel, and I remember Shell, the president of RISA, had asked us to talk about something that got us started, or was a bit unusual that we're doing. There are about 6 of us on the stage. So I started out by telling them that my very first day of training to become a redesigner, but then staging just piggybacked on that. I actually set the clients, it was a training home's house, on fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah. My first day, thinking, this is my new career, I'm happy, this is awesome. And I remember telling that at RISA, and so it ended up, every conversation that was about insurance, I put my hand up because I knew something about it. But you know, we never know. I mean, that was 2002, so I had a great career in staging, but it didn't start off so well. So I guess part of that story is just that, you know, when you go to a RISA convention, you get an opportunity to meet a lot of newbies and a lot of seasoned stagers as well. So Tori, I'd love for you to tell the viewers about your role with RISA now, and also that you were nominated for, in 2012, finalist for Professional Stager of the Year. I see that's your other cat now.
Yes, I have 2 dogs and 3 cats. So
yeah.
I have a little funny farm over here. RISA, I joined RISA in 2009 when I became a home stager, and I became a home stager in October, and I went to the first convention, which would have been 2010 in January. And I've been here since. So this is my 5th or 6th year, and I finally spoke about video at this past convention this year. In 2012, I was the Stager of the Year finalist for the U.S. And I was also awarded the Regional Vice President of the Year award. And the Regional Vice President basically monitors their area. So mine is New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland. And basically any of the chapters that are in those areas. And there's really only New Jersey and New York that have substantial chapters or had substantial chapters. You know, it's always constantly changing. But, you know, they would, if they needed my help, I would definitely go and help them or assist them in things or create type of regional, we would go to like regional conferences together and try and promote RISA that way. So it's all volunteer, but it's definitely great to try and get into. If you're a newbie, you can learn a lot. Some of my very best stagers I met the first year at the convention. So, and I still talk to them today, and they do, you know, they're always teaching me something sometimes.
Yeah, that's great. And, you know, that's a nice thing about RISA is that, you know, I met a lot of newbies there as well, and then more seasoned stagers. And I think, you know, what's really great and happening right now, there are a lot of groups in LinkedIn that a lot of stagers are in. I'm in those, and newbies put questions up, or other people just put questions up. Usually they're about pricing, inventory, has this ever happened to you kind of thing. But just recently, or not recently, I guess in the last 6 months, a lot of stagers are now going into the Google world and into communities and becoming part of those communities of the stagers. So I would like to invite people, if they haven't checked out Google yet, to set up an account. It's really easy to do. And then get involved with the home staging groups on Google as well, because there you can upload video. That's where my Hangout shows with Dana will be put up as well. So if anybody does want to join my community, just go to danasmithers.com/LOA-community. And you have to be invited to join it, because that's a private one. And a lot of YouTube videos go up there. A lot of good discussion as well. So, Tori, just before we finish up here, can you let people know what other things you've got going on? I know you just started doing some webinars. So can they go to your website and find out what's happening with you, things that they can get involved with?
I did start just doing webinars this year. I have 6 scheduled for this year. We just finished our 3rd one this morning. So we'll have another one in July, and then one in September, and then one just for the holiday season, where we'll be talking about holiday decorating.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, I would definitely be interested in getting some expert tips from stagers and, you know, putting them in the webinar as well. You could find that information on my Facebook page at facebook.com/homestagingtips. And it's in that events tab. You can always go to my website, which is torytoth.com, or, you know, feel free to email me at I don't know, which one do I want to give you? I've got so many emails.
Yeah, we all do.
At info@torytoth.com.
Right, and they can probably go to that page and in contact information anyway. I know you've got all your icons on there as well. So, Tori, loved this conversation. I thought it was really, really valuable information. And I think we could say that, you know, part of Tori's success is that she has embraced social media. She's, you know, way ahead of other people in how she's using her YouTube videos. I mean, to have that many viewers and that many videos watched is major kudos to you, Tori, because they are really good. I've watched a lot of them, and you know, your energy really comes across, and you make it fun, right? Like it doesn't have to be, you know, kind of a boring video, right? Like you know, some of those, you know, you're really hamming it up a lot. And, you know, I really like that because, yeah, we got to have fun doing this stuff, right?
Yeah, it's not brain surgery. It's
Yeah.
just, you know, making sure you know what color pillow to put on your and
Yeah.
where to hang your arm and things like that. So
Exactly.
I think the more comfortable people feel with that, the less likely they'll feel like they'll make a mistake.
Right.
And if you make a mistake, like I said, no one's gonna die over it. You just fix it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So that's the Hangout with Dana show today, interviews with home stagers. And I've got a great program coming up next week. We're going to talk about sales secrets and how to get results with 4 home stagers, 2 in Canada and 2 in the United States. So make sure you check out my LOA community, or even just go to my website, my blogs. I'll have it all over Facebook and out in that Google community as well. So Tori, thanks again. I really appreciate you taking time, because I know you just finished a program and now you're doing this. And I'm pretty sure you got something else that you're going to be doing right after this. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.